Hi everyone. Today we are going to go over Shared Learning's Software Engineering Fundamentals, Chapter 1, Something to Deliver, Part 1. So let's get started with some of the tools you're going to need to have installed on your computer. So first we're going to do Visual Studio. And we're just going to do this setup, the default setup here. And then while that's going, let's get Docker Desktop installing as well. And here, just expand this out. We're going to download Docker Desktop for Windows. Okay. So now going back to Visual Studio here, we are going to get ASP.NET and web development selected, Azure development selected, and data storage and processing selected. And we're going to install these. You can install more if you would like, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to install these three. Okay, while that's going, we're going to go into Docker, and we have two open for some reason. We're going to use WSL2 instead of Hyper-V and install that. Okay, now while both of those are installing, we are going to do the final tool we're going to use, which is Azure DevOps. And we're going to actually select the basic plan here, and we're going to start free. So I've already created one. So what you're going to do is you're going to also need a Microsoft account, or create one. You can create one with your Gmail account or whatever. So here we're going to just password wrong. And this will take us to an organization that already exists. However, if you are going to create a new organization, it will look something like this, where getting started, and you will enter in the name that you would like and then type this through. And what you need to make sure is that you're doing a private repository. You can do public if you would like, but I recommend doing a private one. And once that's finished and created, what we're going to do now is you're going to copy the organization name, and we are going to visit this link, which is the free Microsoft hosted parallel job. And what this is this will allow us to run builds on Microsoft hosted cloud resources for free. There's a limit to how many you can run per month, but we probably are not going to hit that limit. So we're going to go here and submit a request. So what you're going to do is just type your name, email address, and the name of your organization here, and select private and submit. So this should take a few days to process, but we want to get this done now so that we can have our future projects ready to go by the time we get there. So for now, let's go back to our downloads, which are Visual Studio. Wait for this to finish up, and Docker Desktop, and we will wait for those to finish up. Okay. Visual Studio has now finished up, as well as Docker Desktop. So as you can see, Docker Desktop requires a restart. So just make sure this is all finished up. So I'm expecting to run into an error with Docker, and that has to do with virtualization. So what Docker does is it will use, in this case, WSL2, which is Windows subsystem for Linux, to run containers under. And that requires some kind of virtualization to be enabled. And that is enabled through the BIOS of your computer. And you will have to explicitly enable virtualization there. So if you don't know how to do that, I would look up enabling virtualization in your BIOS and follow the steps there. But in this case, I'm using a VM and through Hyper-V. So it's just a PowerShell script to run it. And I will show that in the description of this video after. But this is where we will conclude this video for now. Close and restart. And I'll see you in the next video. So a quick side note as well. You will know that virtualization is enabled if your WSL comes up like this. It says welcome to WSL. So make sure that you have WSL updated, and I'd also recommend signing in to an account, either making one or creating an account. This will be impactful later on when we start working with container registries.